What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. I got the gang back with me. It's Thursday night football. We've got the Cardinals versus Seahawks. We're attacking it from every angle. If that sounds interesting, let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
We got Jason, we got James in the building. It's good morning for me, but good evening for you two. How are we hanging?
Feeling good. This game's pretty exciting, so I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason, how you feeling? You got a 3-0 sweep in our last video?
Yeah. We went 3-0 on the money line, which was a crazy little day in the NFL. So to go 3-0 was pretty good after all the debauchery that happened there with some of those games.
Debauchery. That's one of my favorite words. I don't know how to use it, but it's one of my favorite words to hear. I was just lucky last week. I think I got a 4-0 sweep on the picks that I shared in the video. And then by the time the NFL Sunday run around, I threw some extra picks, and then I went 1-3 on those. So the best was saved for YouTube, apparently. James, I think you split last week. Was it?
Yep,
split
2-2. Yeah.
Yep. But then all the other plays that you dropped on Twitter were absolute bangers, right?
Yeah, I had a good day on Twitter, so yeah, that was
Let's
good.
go. Well, if you guys are interested in seeing more of James' picks, you can see his Twitter. I've got a link for that down below. Jason, what's happening on your channel at the moment? You still pumping MLB? Going crazy?
Yep. Last week of the regular season, so we go in depth on every game, talk about stats, and give best bets for every game. So,
if you're interested in checking out MLB, I hear the playoffs are an absolute banger. You can check out Jason's channel. I'll leave a link to that down below in the video description as well. But gentlemen, we're talking Seahawks, we're talking Cardinals. We've got a tight spread in this one, so books expecting this to be tight. But from all my sources, they tell me the Seahawks should win this easily. Are my sources fucking idiots, or is that a very casual approach to the game?
I mean, on paper, it should be a Seahawks win, right? I mean, they are the road team, but they've won 3 of the last 4 in Glendale. They're 14-9 overall against the Cardinals on the road. So, yeah, I think they've got the better team, especially with James Conner going down. So there's some other injury concerns as well.
James, you share the same thoughts?
Yeah, I know the line opened at 2.5, and now it's at 1.5. So obviously the public likes Seattle. I like Seattle as well. Obviously they had a huge win last week against the Saints, where they were able to even rest a bunch of their starters. So I honestly think they're the better team, but again, divisional game, could be tight, prime time. You never know.
Yes, these divisional games. I still have the Bills in my mind, right? That was meant to be a Bills beatdown.
I still have Sam Darnold playoff prime time in my mind, and that's what scares me because that was pretty ugly.
Yeah. Oh, he's not a big fan of primetime, is he?
I don't think he's a big fan of the playoffs. He was real bad.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I can forgive him for that. I might bet on Sam Darnold. Quick look on the total. I think 43.5. I think the consensus when I did my research was people leaning over to the over. Do you guys have any thoughts on the total for this game?
Over. Yeah, I like the over. I've got it 27-23 Seahawks.
Yeah, okay, I lean over as well.
Heavily over.
Yeah. I know it opened at 46.5 though, and it was bet down all the way to 43.5. But I do like the over as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, at least we're all aligned in terms of game script and how this game's supposed to go. But before we jump into any more juicy context, let everybody know who's watching. I've read the comments, and there's probably 3 or 4 people. It's like, stop with all the jibber jabber. You guys talk too much. Just give us the damn bets. To make life easier for you, you can skip all the way to the end of the video. We're going to tell you what all the bets are. We're not going to give you the reasons why we're taking them. That's what the conversation's all about. But if you just want the bets and you don't want the reasons why we like them, you can feel free to skip ahead to the end of the video. All right, let's talk about these teams. Let's talk about their offenses first. Let's talk about the Seahawks first, because I know we're all a little bit aroused about that. What do we know about the Seahawks, and what are the angles that we can look to attack in this game?
James, you kick it off, and then I'll go.
Yeah. I guess first angle, looking at Sam Darnold, he is now tagged along with Clint Kubiak as their OC, and they've looked really well through the first 3, or looked really good through the first 3 weeks, specifically against this Cardinals defense. Opposing QBs have had really good games. Mac Jones threw for 284 yards, Bryce Young threw for 328 yards, and Spencer Rattler threw for 214 yards. So I personally think Darnold is better than all those QBs. He's been solid. He kind of revived his career last year with Minnesota. Specifically, this Arizona defense, again, they allow the third most pass yards and the most pass attempts allowed per game. So I like this angle for Darnold. I think he's set up for a pretty solid game. He always plays better against zone, and the Cardinals run the 8th most zone at 81%. So I personally like his completions look. It's at 19.5, but it's juice. So maybe take that 21 to get some better odds. But yeah, I'm liking Sam Darnold in this one. I'm sure we'll get into some of their other weapons later. But do you guys have any thoughts on Sammy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think
was
you nailed it.
yeah, I was also on board the Darnold train. I looked at this 8 hours ago. I did a full write up for it. I was ready to throw it down, but then I was like, oh, I'll wait till I speak to James and Jason first before I play this one. It was at 2:17 8 hours ago, and it's moved
Yeah.
up to 2:23 now. So a lot of people probably thinking the same thing. And look, I get it. It's probably a pretty straightforward one. Every quarterback who's played the Cardinals has absolutely cooked them. They bring the best out of everyone. They're terrible at defending wide in the slot. They're just giving it up, right? The Cards. So, yeah, it's a strong lean for me. I want to target Darnold in some way. I'm just not sure what it's going to be yet. So, but I
Agreed
like
on
to
that.
look for him to dominate.
You look
in
at
some.
the Cards; they've been pretty good at limiting the run, right? I mean, they're 5th in fewest rush attempts. They're doing a good job of limiting touchdowns by running back. So you've had to get them through the air. And if you look at Sam Darnold, he's over this line in 4 of his last 5 primetime games. So there is some trends there that say take the over. He's over in 3 of 5 when it comes to completions as well.
Right. Okay. That's a good sign. And I'm glad we started with the quarterback, right? Because we could have easily just jumped into like the Cards give it up in the air. I like this receiver or this receiver. And then we could have been throwing around receivers all over the joint, and Sam Darnold might be the safer way. I'm not saying that it is, but Darnold, definitely a strong lean on him getting busy, whether it be completions, whether it be the yards. So we know that the Cardinals give it up through the air, been decent on the ground. Tell me about this Seahawks attack, though. Are they they're not like the Lions of last year where they're airing it out 70% of the time? Like, what does their attack look like?
Yeah, I mean, they have a pretty solid running back room. They have Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, who are both quality running backs. This game might be tough for them. Like Jason mentioned, the Cardinals have a pretty good run defense. They allow the 4th fewest rush yards so far. So I think they will have to throw. That's
Okay.
kind of where I come from. So Kenneth Walker could have a good game. Charbonnet was injured last week, and he was a full participant in practice the last 2 days. So they expect him to be back. I'm not touching either of them. I just think this defense is kind of stingy on the ground. So I'm probably going to attack the Seahawks through the air. So, yeah, that's kind of where I stand.
Oh. Kenneth
Yep,
Walker
completely
just got a
agree.
touchdown plus money. What the hell?
Yeah.
Well, you
I
never
just
really
feel
know.
like-
Is it going to be Kenneth Walker or Charbonnet? Like, it's kind of a 50-50 when they get down there. Charbonnet's
right.
he's a kind of a power back. So, yeah, I think the odds are definitely trending, if we look at line movement, towards Walker to get the TD.
Yeah. It's just, hey, look at plus money to have a running back on the team that's expected to win at plus money. I just think.
Yeah. Well, again, I think it's
Sure.
just lack of touchdowns allowed by Arizona. I think they're thinking they're going to throw it through the air. So maybe Njigba, Horton could be kind of a sneaky one to take. Cooper Kupp's always going to be a red zone target.
Yep. Well, let's talk about these receivers, right? Who do we take here? Who do we like? What are the reasons why, if any?
Yeah. I looked at JSN. Obviously, he's started out hot. I saw an interesting stat that he has 3 times more targets than anyone else on the Seahawks against zone coverage. And like I mentioned before, the Cardinals sit in zone. So
Yeah.
his lines are really high. That kind of scares me away. And he's been over in all 3 games. So I probably am not going to take it, but I do like the matchup for JSN, and I think he will probably have a good game. But again, his lines are just incredibly high.
Yes, and he's been on fire.
Yeah.
What about this longest reception? Do we have any looks on this? Because like if his longest reception, it's been 40 over 40 in every single game. Line's at 25.5. We know he eats up the zone, but are there any other metrics here that I'm missing in terms of looking at longest receptions?
I personally don't have any notes on longest reception. Jason, you got anything?
Yeah, I mean, when I look at the game script here, I just see him probably getting a lot of slant routes and things like that.
All
So
right.
I think he's probably going to have to get that yards after the catch. So not one I necessarily love, right? If anything, I would lean towards his receptions. 6.5. I mean, it is kind of high, but you can still get some good plus EV over on BetMGM right now. It's at like
Why, what-
minus 120.
Oh, right. Yep. That's a plus EV look. Okay. What about on Cooper Cup? Anything on him?
I'm not a big Cooper Cup guy. I think he's pretty washed at this point. So I'm probably just staying away as a whole. But again, pretty solid matchup.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
targets are. I mean, he's had 2 games where he had 3 targets, and then the Pittsburgh game he had 9, so or 7, I think maybe. So usage is kind of a little bit spotty here. Just not something I want to jump on right now.
Yeah. He's not the number one option for sure. Okay. Well, Darnold's still definitely lean for me. JSN, something to get me thinking about. Any tight ends that we're thinking about?
I actually had a sneaky look on AJ Barner. He's been running the most routes at tight end for the Seahawks, and the Cardinals allow the 8th most tight end yards. He finished with 26 and 23 the last 2 weeks, and he played 80+% of the snaps in their first 2 competitive games. The last one against the Saints, they were blowing him out, so didn't get as many snaps. So I think that's a sneaky look. I haven't jumped on it yet, but it's an option. So I'm thinking about that one for sure.
Yeah, I like sneaky looks.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now let's talk about the Cardinals. Let's talk about their offense, because based on what I was able to gather, the Seahawks should win this game. The Cardinals are missing Connor, who I'm glad he's not there anyway, because I would have bet on him and lost somehow, because I can't seem to win a bet on that guy. But he's missing. Benson steps up. I'm anticipating that the Cards just throw the fucking ball around. That's the way that I attack this game. So what are your thoughts on this Cardinals offense, and how do they play today?
Yeah. I mean, the Seahawks defense is pretty good. I've been impressed. They always get after the quarterback. So expect there to be pressure. I don't have any reads particularly on Kyler. They do, contain the quarterback pretty well, and Kyler has, it's a division opponent, so Kyler's seen this defense before. But yeah, Jason, do you have any specific looks on Kyler?
Yeah, I mean, when we look at without James Conner, so it's kind of followed a very similar pattern. He tends to rush a hell of a lot more. He's averaging 51 yards a game in 6 games without James Conner, 41 if you take out an outlier where he did 100, but we'll say 41 for this one. So I do expect a lot of pressure. I don't think Arizona's going to have a lot of success running with Benson. I think he's going to have to hurry. He's going to have to scramble. First bet I made this week was Kyler Murray over 5.5 rush attempts at plus money. It's now juiced to like minus 110, minus 115.
Damn.
That was one of the first plays that I had made. So I do expect him to run. I think his rush yards are live. That's kind of gone up as well. I got it at 27.5 earlier this week. So that's one.
Starting to move,
Yep, still 27. So I do like that this game, but he's going to have to throw the ball. I think Marvelous Marv might have a nice day, so he's one that I would target, and obviously McBride's going to be a big target for him.
Yes, I said yes about 93 times as you were explaining all that, because that's exactly what I was thinking. I obviously can't communicate it in the way that you do, but that's the exact train of thought that I had for Kyler Murray and Benson. So I ended up taking Kyler Murray's passing attempts. I wasn't going to touch his completions because I think he's going to be gambling a lot in this game, but I think he's going to be throwing the shit out of that ball. And with that high press rate from the Seahawks, I think it's going to force him to run. So I like the rushing yards and I like his passing attempts. I'll likely put them together as a value play, provided the odds are right. But in terms of straight bets, I already hit his passing attempts. It's still at the 31.5 that I bet a couple of hours ago. So that's definitely one thing that I'm playing. Talking about Benson, I don't think he was going to have much success on the ground. So I bet the under in his rushing yards at 60.5. But I think this continues to move down anyway, given how difficult this matchup is going to be. But any
Love
thoughts
it.
on Trey Benson? Because I already bet he's under.
Yeah, I've got some thoughts on his receiving props. So
Yes.
the Seahawks do allow the fourth most RB receptions. They sit in too high on defense, so that kind of leads to a lot of like quick dump offs in the flats. And the Cardinals are throwing to their running backs at the sixth highest rate. So if you look at some of the other running backs who have faced this Seahawks defense, you had Jalen Warren, who had 4 catches for 86 yards. Gainwell had 3 catches for 16 yards. McCaffrey, 9 catches, 73 yards. And then Kamara had 1 catch for 14 yards. But I'll put an asterisk on that one because
Script.
these Saints haven't really been using Kamara in the past game. They've just been dumping off to like Olave and Juwan Johnson. So I think that combined with the fact that it was a blowout and they didn't want to keep their guys in as long, that was kind of my thought process there. So I do lean both his receptions and his receiving yards. I personally like his receiving yards a bit more because I think they'll use him in the screen game and he can take 15, 20 yards in one catch. So that's kind of where I sit with Benson. His yards, I agree, though, will be tough on the ground.
Again, rock hard here, James. You got me aroused because I had already put together a value play with him under his rushing yards, over his receptions, and I got it like plus 320.
Yeah, that's great.
So thank the Lord our thoughts align. Because if you came in here spinning the opposite shit, like he's gonna look like Jameer Gibbs out there and just run him, I would have been in trouble. But I'm glad we're aligning here on Trey Benson. Let's talk about the other things for the Cardinals offense. Let's talk about some of these receivers. So we think Marvelous Marv. I was thinking like not even like hitting his normal line, but hitting an alternate at a higher number so I could risk a little bit less.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Personally, I'm actually against you guys here. I don't think Marv is going to have a great game. He struggled this year. He just had some bad drops in last week's game.
All right.
But the Seahawks allow the third fewest targets to outside wide receivers. And this Arizona offense just has remained the exact same as it was last year. They're keeping Marv on the outside. They're not giving him any of those like free releases and motion behind the line. So the Seattle secondary is really good. And the Cards offense throws to outside wide receivers at actually the lowest rate in the NFL. So Kyler Small, he kind of has trouble like finding those outside wide receivers down the field unless he's like outside the pocket. So I just think the marriage between Harrison and Kyler isn't great. I think Marv is a good player, but I just think this situation isn't the best for him. So I'm probably staying away. I don't want to take his under because his line is pretty low, but I probably would stay away from his over personally.
So who do you think's the better target? Sorry,
Jason, do you have any thoughts on McBride?
I mean, my thought was that they're going to be putting pressure on Murray all night. He's going to be rolling out, and I could see him connecting, 1 or 2 real nice downfield throws with Harrison. Get some, one-on-one coverage there.
Yeah. Could a longest reception probably be a better look than just his receiving yards?
Yes.
Yeah.
Potentially. We'll see. What about Trey McBride? He's got the highest receiving line here for the Cards.
Yeah. He's actually my favorite play on the board. I've got him over 6.5 receptions. And then I took his ladder up to 9+ for plus 300.
I love this. You didn't preface this with, I know his hit rate's not good this year. Like that gets me very excited when you start it that way. So he never hit more than 6.5 reception in a game this year. Yeah. And you got the balls to take him for 9.
Oh yeah.
Please tell me why.
Yeah, to start, I mean, he leads the Cardinals in target share. He leads them in first read looks and design targets. So they're still trying to get him the ball, and I know he's a great player. Like you said, he opened with 6 and 5 catches. Didn't hit this line yet, but last year he cleared 7+ receptions in 8 of his last 12 games, and he averaged nearly 10 targets a game. So he's obviously a good player. They like to get him involved. This year among tight ends, he's 3rd in first read target share, or first read targets, and 2nd in design targets. And the offense pretty much runs through him. He's Kyler's guy. And like we said with Trey Benson, Connor's out for the season. We expect Arizona to throw the ball more. They've limited, the Seattle defense has limited running backs, McCaffrey, Warren, Kamara. They all got held in check to under 70 yards each. So I expect them to be passing here. Last year, McBride had 12 and 7 catches in 2 games against the Seahawks, and he had 29 total targets. So they obviously like to use him in this matchup. And then as far as how Seattle defends tight ends, they rank 25th in receptions allowed and give up the 5th most receptions as a team. So tight ends have kind of killed this defense so far. Juwan Johnson had 6 catches, Freiermuth had 3, Jonnu Smith had 4, and they all cleared their individual lines. And then Kittle had a really solid game going. He had 4 catches in just the first quarter, and then he left with an injury. So that was unfortunate for him. I think he definitely would have smashed his line. But yeah, I love this spot for McBride. I think it's a get-right spot. He's a great player, and I'm going to roll with him to bounce back after he's kind of had a quiet start to the year.
Yeah, and at these odds, I'm going to be rolling with you, dog. That's awesome.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason, what are your thoughts? Tell us why.
No, I think it's good. I mean, like I was just going to say what he said. Kittle had 4 receptions on 21 offensive snaps, so that's a pretty high rate there if they were going to him.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'd like to look at that. Is there anything we may have missed? Any other players? We're not talking about tackles and assists, are we?
Hell no.
I mean, no.
What about kickers? Any kickers we like? It is Thursday night football after all.
Jason, I know that's your specialty.
Yeah, DraftKings, both teams to make a 33-yard field goal, minus 120 right now. It's a pretty good deal in my opinion. So it's one that I've already placed.
Okay. Any other bets that we haven't looked at yet? Any other angles?
I think that's it for me.
That's it from you. Jason?
Yep, I think we have covered it all. I'm just kind of going over what I had, but I think we touched them all.
Okay. Now I just need let's do a bit of honesty right now, because I do this every single time. It's a primetime game. I'm obviously going to build a same game parlay, but do you guys do that? Like you just build a same game parlay and share it with anybody? It's Thursday night football. Let's add a little bit more excitement. I need to know if you guys have done that for this game.
I haven't placed one yet, but when FanDuel or DraftKings drops those profit boosts, I usually do just to see what I can do, have a little bit of fun. But yeah, we'll see.
It's out right now. You can get the 33% boost right now. So time to drop it.
Time to drop. All right, let's start cooking.
Yeah, I will.
Right.
I definitely will have something.
Okay. That's always exciting. Well, let's summarize this. So for those people who didn't want to listen to the analysis or the reasons why we like certain things, let's just recap the bets. So I personally, the ones that I've already placed, I've got Benson under 60.5 rush yards, Kyler Murray over 31.5 attempts. I've also got Benson over 3.5 receptions. James, you want to summarize yours?
Yeah. Favorite play on the board, I've got McBride over 6.5 receptions, and I laddered it up to 9+. I also really liked the Benson receiving look. I haven't placed that yet, but I like his receiving yards. I also lean slightly towards Sam Darnold and his over in completions, and I also took a look at his over in passing touchdowns, which is at plus 150. And then we spoke a little bit about AJ Barner as a sneaky look, but I'll probably stay away from that one.
Okay. And Jason?
Yep. So I got Kyler Murray over 5.5 rush attempts. I've got both teams to make a 33-yard field goal. And then Marvin Harrison over 45.5 receiving yards.
You've pretty got good CLV on that too.
Yep.
Yeah. It's all happening. All right. Beautiful. Well, I love your stuff. If anybody's interested in checking out the work that these guys do every single day, James is on Twitter, Jason's on YouTube, pumping through some MLB stuff, so go ahead and check that out. Links for everything they do is in the video description. If you're betting on this game, I wish you the best of luck. Gamble responsibly. Let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.